The bully's mother was my father's favorite. She hurt my eye. My father forgave her for me. You look a lot like your mother. I can't bear to see you get punished. Later, he took the initiative to take on the responsibility of educating the bully. He sent her to school. He bought her new clothes. He traveled with her. He gave her all the fatherly love that he never gave me. So I made a phone call. Uncle, can you be my new dad? The school hunk praised my beautiful eyes, and Su Yan and her followers forced water from the toilet into my right eye. When the doctor treated me, he said that my right eye was seriously infected and I was almost blind. Because of communication barriers, I couldn't express myself too much. I just opened my eyes and looked outside helplessly. When I came out of the infirmary, the teacher told me that my father Shinemo was here. In an instant, my heart was full of surprise. Because my father had never been to my school, this time I was bullied so badly, he must have come to support me. Although he doesn't like me, I am his biological daughter after all. I won't be bullied. Along the way, I was giving myself the illusion of happiness. However, I thought too much after all. I walked to the door of the office and looked through the half-open door. I saw my father, Shinemo. He was looking at Su Yan with a fatherly look. That was a look I had never had before. Why? Doesn't he know Su Yan is very bad? Doesn't he know Su Yan is the one who bullied me? Before I could run over to question him, I heard Shinemo say to Su Yan, "Your mother is the person I love most, and you look a lot like her. I can't bear to see you punished. So don't be afraid. I won't pursue this matter." I froze at the door like a stone. I understand. Dad is not here to make the decision for me. He never thought of making the decision for me. Because Su Yan is the daughter of the woman he loves most. Even if she is not his flesh and blood, she is more important than me. And he doesn't love my mother, so he doesn't love me either. I suddenly remembered the voice my mother had screamed countless times before she died. "Shinemo, since you only have her in your heart, why did you marry me?" Dad never answered. He just looked at my mother sarcastically. I found out later. He and my mother were in a business marriage. No feelings are needed at all. So in his opinion, my mother's questions were all jokes, and now, I have become a joke. The doctor said I can't cry, because crying will cause my eyes to be infected again. I will really go blind. I held it back and went back to the classroom, sitting alone. No one talked to me. In their eyes, I was a monster, because I stuttered. After a while, Su Yan came back arrogantly. My classmates were shocked that she was unscathed. After all, they knew that my father Shinemo was rich and powerful. Su Yan just couldn't stand my family's wealth, and saw that I was not good at speaking, so he always bullied me secretly. This time it's serious, and there will definitely be no good consequences. However, she came back safely. You don't know, my mother is Uncle Shin's favorite first love. She is like a white moonlight. Even his own daughter can't compare. Su Yan looked proud and glanced at me meaningfully. I just felt a sharp pain in my heart. Yes. I can't compare. I deserve to be bullied by my father's white moonlight's daughter, and my father only has eyes for the people who bully me. He doesn't even look at me, let alone seek justice for me. Then, I'll do it myself. For a moment, I didn't know where I got the courage from being a cowardly person. I picked up a chair and smashed it at Su Yan. Shinemo took me home. He threatened to put me in solitary confinement for a month and not allow me to eat or drink well. Seeing his furious look, my tears finally burst. The doctor said I couldn't cry, but I really couldn't help it. Why, she bullied me first. I stammered to defend myself. The head teacher also called. He told Shinemo that it was not my fault alone. You can't be so reckless when teaching children. That's right. I was as stubborn as a calf at that time, and I wrestled with Su Yan. Shinemo was so angry that he asked the bodyguard to drag me out of the classroom. Under the attention of the whole grade, I was extremely embarrassed. And Su Yan who bullied me. Su Yan who hurt my eyes. She was sent to the medical room by the bodyguard. I really want to know how Shinmo's heart grows. Maybe the head teacher's words are more effective than mine. Shinemo finally calmed down. He didn't put me in confinement again. That night, he rarely treated me kindly, but said something that had nothing to do with me. You and Xiaoyan are classmates, you should help each other. She learned bad things because she didn't have relatives to take care of her. So I want her to move to our house. I'll take care of her. That night, I cried all night regardless of the doctor's advice. Shin Mo asked someone to carefully prepare a room for Su-yen. The whole house was girlish pink. He also put precious ornaments. It turns out that he is also a good father. And I decorated my room myself. He has never set foot in it. Shin Mo can't wait to take care of Bai Yuiguang's daughter. To please her, Shin Mo picks her up from school every day. Driving the sports car that the little girl likes, there is no empty seat for me. It's a holiday. He also buys her new clothes and takes her out for a trip. I can only stay at home, and Shin Mo hired a young nanny for me. Let the young nanny talk to me. I want to tell him that my injured eye is very uncomfortable. Can you take me to the hospital, or let the driver take me? But I don't know why, I can't open my mouth. Shin Mo has no patience. Why are you babbling? Why are you nagging? You have been abroad before, and you are like your mother, fighting for everything? He just left me alone. Later. When I was locked in the room, Su-yen posted travel photos in the class every day. Occasionally she mentioned the love story between Shin Mo and her mother. She vividly described the love story that was broken up by the rich family. Then she said in a tearful voice, Uncle Shin said that he would make up for what he owed my mother from me. I am my mother's only daughter. It was also the only thought my mother left for him. Listen to this. If I didn't know that Su-yan's father was a murderer, I would have thought that Su-mo was his biological father. The class group cried. What kind of beautiful love is this? No wonder Uncle Shin likes Su-yan so much. It turns out he loves Wujiwu. Yes. Love the house and the bird. The father's love I long for doesn't belong to me either. Frustrated, I dialed a number. Connected over there. After waiting patiently for a long time, I stumbled and said, Uncle, can you be my new father? The uncle said, of course. He and his boyfriend are both mom's best friends. They have long wanted to take care of me. And at this time, Shin Mo's message was sent, and he seemed to care about me. If your eyes still hurt, don't blame Dad. To me, you and Xiaoyan have different meanings. You are all important. You. He lined me up with the bullies. How ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't want him anymore. I blocked Shin Mo, packed my bags, and left the Shin family. But just after a while, there was a knock on my door. I thought it was the nanny who came to call me to eat, but I thought it was quite early today, so I ate as soon as it was time to eat. But when he opened the door, he only saw a gray suit. I looked up and saw a face I hadn't seen for a long time. Xiaojing, uncle. Why did the person who was on the phone just now arrive so quickly? Why don't you call me new daddy? He put his hands in his pockets and looked at me with a smile. I lower my head. A little embarrassed. The word new dad was something I only said when I was extremely sad. But when I calmed down and thought, why should he be my new father? I am a high school student, and to put it bluntly, I am a burden. When Uncle Xiaojing saw that my closet was open, he knew that I was sorting things, so he looked away and stopped disturbing me. I'll wait for you downstairs. I nodded. After he left, I turned around and walked to the desk and wrote a few lines on the paper. It probably means that I have to trouble him for 2 years. In the past 2 years, I will be obedient and sensible and will not cause him any trouble. Certainly. I was thinking, if Uncle Xiaojing needs it, I can be a transparent person. In short, even if she lives under someone else's roof, it is better than being Shin Mo's daughter. At least I don't have to be sisters with my bully every day. As I thought about it, I just felt a stabbing pain in my right eye. So he gritted his teeth and packed his luggage quickly, worried that Uncle Xiaojing would wait too long. When I pushed my heavy luggage out of the door, a big hand quickly took my suitcase over. Bringing so much? I have prepared a lot for you. He muttered, shook his head, and walked down the stairs ahead of me. I stared at his broad back, and the small stone in my heart quietly fell to the ground. Uncle Xiaojing is my mother's good friend, he is so good to me. Living in his house, how could he be living under someone else's roof? I held the note in my hand and wondered whether I should give it to Uncle Xiaojing. Uncle Xiaojing and I went out easily. All the nannies who stayed at my house for a long time knew him and knew that he was a friend of my late wife. Now that it's summer vacation again, they thought it was Uncle Xiaojing who wanted to take me out for 2 days. So I was respectful and did not stop him. One nanny also sighed. Mr. Xiao is so kind. For a child like Xiaoyu, if I were you, I wouldn't come to your door and take her out to play. When I heard this, I felt nothing at all. Because of my communication difficulties, I was not popular at school, nor was I popular with the nannies at home. They thought I kept my mouth shut even though I knew how to speak, which was spooky. Anyway, I'm used to it. I just want to leave. But the figure in front of me stopped for a moment. Uncle Xiaojing placed his broad palm on the top of my hair and looked at the nanny teasingly. Oh, what kind of child is our Xiaoyu? Why do you dislike him so much? I would like to ask Shinemo, what kind of nannies do we find? They don't cook when it's time for dinner, and they talk bad about the master's children. When the nanny heard this, she immediately panicked. I didn't mean that. Apologize. Uncle Xiaojing spoke calmly. His words were a little scary. Of course, I wasn't scared. On the contrary, my heart felt warm. I know. This is the feeling of being protected and supported. It's like Daddy. The nanny neglected me and my classmates isolated me. I originally thought it was nothing. All the time. I only care about Shinmo's attitude towards me. But now, when Uncle Xiaojing asked the nanny to apologize to me, and when I heard that I'm sorry, I felt more comfortable than ever before. Maybe I've been waiting for this apology. Perhaps I never felt that I deserved to be bullied. What's wrong with your eyes? Uncle Xiaojing cast his eyes on me in the passenger seat. I'm hurt. How? He asked with a frown. I wanted to speak, but my lips kept trembling. I think of the way Su Yan bullied me and the so-called retribution she got. I was so angry that I was shaking and couldn't even speak. Without saying a word, Uncle Xiaojing turned the car around and took me to the hospital. The wound was infected, and the doctor arranged a minor surgery for me. When I woke up, I saw Uncle Xiaojing reading the note I wrote. See me awake. He curled his lips and started reading. Uncle Xiaojing, I'm sorry to bother you for a while, I promise you. During this period, I will be sensible and obedient and will not cause you any trouble. P.S. I'm not picky about food and I'm easy to feed. After reading it, I was ashamed. I feel like I shouldn't add that P.S. The air froze for a second. Uncle Xiaojing sighed. Xiaoyu, am I a very poor person? No. But I know you are very good. You don't need to stress this to me. Your mother and I are best friends. Even if you go to the house every day, I will give you a ladder, do you understand? I have always known that Uncle Xiaojing and my mother are best friends. When my grandparents were still there, my mother often took me to my grandparents' house. At that time, Uncle Xiaojing and his mother often hung out together. He begged his mother to help him chase someone. His mother gave him many tips. Once he even went into battle in person. Say what? She personally proved whether the boy was straight or crooked. Even if it is straight, it will scare him into bending. I didn't understand what it meant at the time. Just remember. Uncle Xiaojing almost knelt down for her. Grandma often said that the two of them were male and female evil spirits, and she came to torment her and Grandpa. Uncle Xiaojing's parents are no longer here, and he has been cared for by them since he was a child. Therefore, he and his mother are as close as brother and sister. Oh. Not brother and sister. Mom said they were sisters. It's not a male and a female, but a female and a female. Mom is here. As soon as Uncle Xiaojing finished speaking to me, another beautiful voice came as the ward door opened. I couldn't help but smile. It was Uncle Wenin. Uncle Xiaojing's object. Here he comes. Uncle Xiaojing had to leave because the company was very busy. Before leaving, he stared at the wound in my eye, and his face turned livid for a moment. Just ask, do you want to pursue it to the end? I was silent for a moment. Nod. We must pursue it to the end. I don't want Su Yan to have a good life, and I don't want those who protect Su Yan to have a good life. Uncle Xiaojing nodded and said softly, okay, leave it to me. After he left, Uncle Wenin took care of me. Seriously. Uncle Wenin is really good at taking care of people. He sat for a while and then asked me if I wanted to eat a burger. The hospital stuff is too bland. My eyes don't have any taboos in this area either. I nodded. He immediately went to buy it. It's great, I want to eat it too, but that bastard Xiaojing won't let me eat it, saying it's not healthy. I think he is the most unhealthy, so I don't do the same. He held it back. Me, like what? He shook his head and went to buy a burger. I was bored and turned on my phone. The class group message is 99 plus again. I didn't really like watching these before. But now, it is Su Yan who is updating the news. She was taken on a trip by Shinemo. So happy. She bullied someone else's daughter and was treated like a treasure by the other person. Very proud of it. Thinking like this, I couldn't help but click on the group message. Su Yan. These days, Uncle Shen and I have traveled throughout Europe and seen different customs. Uncle Shen also told me a lot of truths. He said that girls still need to study hard. Only by studying can they see higher and go further. I used to be ignorant and only knew how to dominate in school. After. I want to listen to Uncle Shen, study hard and make progress every day. The students are all echoing. Uncle Shen is so kind to you. It is not simply giving material things. I'm envious, my father is not so kind to me. As expected of Uncle Shen by Yue Guang's daughter. Uncle Shen is a man who values affection and justice. By the way, didn't Shinyu go with you? Su Yan, I don't know, but Uncle Shen said that I am the only child he takes to travel abroad. Su Yan was right, she was the only person Shinmoto valued so much. As for me, let alone going abroad, Shinemo never even took me out of the province. I remember it was my birthday the year after my mother passed away. Grandma asked for something to take me to the amusement park. At that time, Shinemo crossed his legs. You were the one who wanted me to get married, you were the one who wanted me to have children, and you were the one who asked me to play with my children. What's going on? Am I your puppet? Grandma was so angry with him that she almost died. Never mentioned it again. Before my grandma passed away, I lived with her. She never told me anything wrong with Shinemo. She only said, your father is still young and ignorant, and he doesn't know how to be a parent yet. He will be fine in the future. I waited one after another. Wait until he becomes someone else's perfect dad. I sniffed, feeling sour. And the next second, Uncle An's voice came to my ears. I bought a burger and you didn't even raise your head. What are you looking at? What the hell is this? Your class? Depend on this green tea. Pull me into the group. Let me teach her a lesson. Uncle Wanan just used my mobile phone to drag him into the group chat. He at Su Yan. Miss, do you want to be shameless? You call other people's dad very happy. Does your own father know? Is your own father dead? Oh. And your dead mother? Still white moonlight? Laughing out loud. Why is Bai Yuiguang's daughter a black crow? I don't think Shinemo is a good guy either. His daughter doesn't care. Run to care for the murderer's daughter. Aren't you afraid that the murderer will be released from prison and kill him? Interesting. The class exploded. Is Su Yan's biological father a murderer? Oh no, no wonder Su Yan engages in bullying because of her family background. Who is this person? How do you know so much? Probably sent by Shinyu. Shinyu is so pitiful. Yes, if my father treats others better than me, and that person bullies me, I will collapse. Yes, we are all blinded by Bai Yuiguang and decades of emotions. The relationship is so deep, there is no way to get married. That's right. The trend of the classmates suddenly reversed, and I was confused. Uncle Wanan sneered. Stop pretending to be sober, I think you are just a bunch of losers. Please, read more, think more, and do less NPCs. After Uncle Wanan scolded the class group, it became much quieter. Su Yan explained a lot, but no one paid attention to her. She retreated angrily. He also threatened, anyway, Uncle Shen said, I will be the daughter of the Shen family from now on, so don't ask me for help in the future. Still, no one paid any attention to her. A week later, I returned to the specialty class without incident. I heard from the classmates that Su Yan is back. I saw her when my mother and I went to the bar to catch my brother. Hang around with a bunch of punks. Smoking and drinking. He also showed off that he had a lot of pocket money and directly covered everyone's expenses. TCH, you said you've learned enough. Hehe. I think she just uses your father's money to act as boss. I listened to the discussions and did not join in. I just immersed myself in drawing. I just feel ironic. The Shin family has strict upbringing. When grandma is around, the children are never allowed to show off their financial resources.